Toby. Where's Mark Lisa when you need him? We need Mark Lisa in here. Yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and begin, everyone. If you can come in and take a seat. A lot of great energy in the room. We'll have some networking after the annual awards, trying to keep us on task. We're starting at 5:30. Did you start? Not yet. Huh? All right, go ahead and take a seat, everyone. Audio check. All right, Kevin, can you help me get people to sit? Thank you, sir. Can you guys hear me okay in the back? Yes? Higher? All right. All right, thanks everyone. We're going to go ahead and begin. Welcome to the 2019 CAHL Annual Awards event. It sounds like the audio is not going back. Do I just need to speak up a little louder? DeVecchio, can you hear me back there? Are we good? We're good? Thank you. Wow. How is everyone? In the heat? Yes? All right. Great. We have a few more people networking. There's going to be networking afterwards. Welcome, again, to the 2019 Annual Awards. Welcome all those who are viewing this event remotely through our live streaming capability. So thank you, Eric Johnson, for leading efforts in regards to providing this, as well as thank you, ACHE, that actually enabled us through the innovation grant to purchase this technology that allows us to live stream not only this event, but the two face-to-face events that occurred earlier today. We did have a remote location in Fresno with the University of Phoenix, and we appreciate University of Phoenix, their sponsorship and hosting that event for us. So my name's Andrew Pete. I'm the chapter president this year. I also work at Sutter Medical Center, Sacramento, so the flagship hospital for Sutter Health, 24 hospital system in Northern California, so an integrated health network. Very proud of the work that we do, and I'm also very proud of the work we do as a CAHL chapter. So I'm going to kick things off, and first off, I just wanted to recognize our esteemed guest, ACHE Chair Heather Rohan. Yes, who are here visiting us all the way from Tennessee. So she brought the heat, but not the humidity, right? Is that how it is? So thank you. We also want to recognize actually DeVecchio Finley, who's on the Board of Governors. Thank you, DeVecchio, for being here. And then Baljit, where are you, Baljit Sangha, who's our regent for CAHL for District 5. Thank you, Baljit, for being here from a government standpoint. So again, we have a wonderful evening for you. Let's just jump right in, Melanie. Next slide. All right, go ahead, next slide. Yeah, there's a picture of me. Yeah, I know. I feel like between this CAHL banner behind, I feel like I'm either at an NFL news conference or at a DJ, you know, about to cut a soundtrack, right? So, you know, I'm kind of torn between these two wonderful, you know, items that we're able to add to our CAHL repertoire. So, you know, in regards to, as I reflected on the President's message for this year, I'm proud of how far we've come. I'm proud to see all of you here in attendance. You know, we represent roughly 1,400 members for ACHE here in Northern California. We're one of the few chapters actually that has representation on the board from all healthcare sectors, whether that's the military health system, the VA, for-profit, not-for-profit, consulting, long-term care, you know, healthcare. all represented on our board of directors as well as on our committee structure. I'm also very proud that the hospitals and the organizations that are here in our chapter are consistently recognized as top 100, top 50 hospital, top ambulatory, organizations. We consistently rate very, very, very high on, these public reporting databases. So there's a lot to be proud of. So definitely give everyone a round of applause for that. That's all of your leadership. All of your leadership right there. So a lot to be proud of there. Moving on, we also like to thank our generous sponsors who partner with us both at the national level, but here locally with CAHL. We have a couple of, next slide, thank you. A couple of platinum level sponsors and UCSF. I've seen quite a few UCSF folks here. So thank you for your partnership and support. We also have University of Phoenix. They have a table in the back. Thank you, University of Phoenix, for your platinum level support as well as hosting that remote location event. So, these sponsors are important into the work that we do and our mission in regards to, purchasing equipment, offering scholarships, updating our website, et cetera. All that comes a lot through the sponsorship funds, and so we're grateful for that. We also want to recognize the silver level sponsor Empiric Health, as well as the bronze sponsors, Alameda Health System. Thank you, DeVecchio and Volgi. Appreciate the support. As well as we have many in-kind sponsors throughout the year who give their facilities, their resources, their expertise, food, whatever, for the mission of CAHL through events, through networking opportunities. So we definitely thank all the in-kind sponsors, and you see the list up there. It's quite a bit in regards to all the major players in Northern California are very integrated in CAHL and the mission that we have. So thank you. Next slide, Melanie. So has everyone been to our website? I hope so, right? We updated about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now, actually, from a time standpoint. So there's the update slide. And I think as we were here last year, I made the pitch. This is still stock photo right here, right? So we need to get the real deal. So maybe tonight, we have Scott, our photographer here. We need to get a few of you together, and let's get some of our real members up on our website. We also have, obviously, this fun, CAHL, photo booth there. So when we're done networking, feel free to get up there, take some fun photos. We also have comments on the right side here of the mirror. So when the event is over, definitely provide some feedback, provide your thoughts on how as an organization, as CAHL, we can improve and really help fulfill our mission with continuing to help you advance your professional endeavors. Okay, next slide, Melanie. This is the CAHL 2018 annual report. So this is an annual report that we sent this out right before the chapter surveys. So we were very strategic in this one. So we really wanted to, we had our goal, and as a chapter, we've been trying very, very hard to get 4.1 on our member satisfaction. So that's the threshold for getting an ACHE chapter award, right? For one of them is that member satisfaction. We've always been around 3.8, 3.7, so we were very strategic, made a big push. I'm confident we're going to hit 4.1 this year. We'll find out in September at the Chapter Leaders Conference. But hey, we have a nice focus group here right now. So Heather's here. So just round of applause. Would you say we're out of 5 for the chapter where you are? Are we out of 5, right? Just nice focus group. I kind of hear it, right? So I know I took a risk with that one, right? Could have been quiet. Could have been crickets. Could have been crickets. So thank you for that. So we work hard as a board to really provide value to you all, and hopefully you feel that, and hopefully that message comes across and resonates with you and your career and what you're doing. All right, next slide. So I want to bring up, introduce Toby Marsh and Kim Brown-Sims. Please join me. All right, so Toby Marsh is the immediate past president. Kim Brown-Sims is the president-elect. So together we are your CAHL, I guess, presidency, and we try to tag team efforts in regards to the direction of the board, and as well as planning this event and things like that. So the chapter will not be where it is without their leadership as well as the support of all the volunteers in the board. So just want to recognize you and thank you both for all the time and energy. So thank you. Yes. And Toby's always the best dressed in the whole room, as you can tell. So well done, Toby. All right, next slide. Again, this is an example from our annual report in regards to the message. I hope you read these. We do take a lot of time to actually write these messages. It's not copy and paste. We do take time and we think about this. So hopefully, these messages are resonating and providing some value to you, whether that's just a smile or a motivation to continue to get through the day or get through the week. So continue to read the newsletters. We'll provide pictures from tonight's event and the next newsletter, so make sure you get those into our communications committee. Next slide, Melanie. Again, mission and vision and values. This is all on our website. Go ahead, next slide. I wish I had the clicker up here. Actually, it'd be a lot. No, so I don't have to keep turning back. Chapter overview. Go back one more. So total membership, 1,494. So we had 190 people register for tonight's event. So you can look in regards to a good portion of our membership are here, more than 10%. 15% of you are here, so that's great. You see the number of new fellows. This is something we've been proud of. We have been growing actually very robustly over year. And I've met actually a few of the new members tonight actually. So thank you for all those who have joined ACHE and all those who are considering joining. And you only need to come to one event and then we got you for a lifetime, right? So we'll talk to any of the board members if you're interested in learning more about becoming a member. Sorry, go back. A couple things I want to just call out here. So this is in our annual report. Look at the total number of 2018 events. Consistently, our chapter does a fantastic job with planning events. We cover 50 of California's 58 counties, and you can see the number of events we host throughout the year. I mean, it's more than one, it's multiple events per month, whether it's in the Bay Area, Sacramento, Central Valley. Our teams are spread all over the state, well, mostly on the state, from Bakersfield north, doing events, whether it's networking, face-to-face, learning for leaders, and hopefully you're at least able to attend one of these events. Well, you're here tonight, but those who are watching remotely, definitely there's plenty of opportunity to attend an event at least 1 month during the year. So we try to make it as easy, as accessible. With this live stream technology, it makes it so much easier as well. You can always go back and actually look at our YouTube site to view and watch some of our old Learning for Leader events and past events. They're all uploaded as well. So I just wanted to call that out. That's fantastic. I mean, that's a very busy chapter. I don't know a lot of professional associations that have that many events throughout the year. So well done. Next slide. All right, CAHL Board of Directors. We have you can see a very diverse, very large, in regards to the expertise, very deep Board of Directors. So I'm just going to pause here and just have any of the Board of Directors who are here, can you please stand and be recognized? So there's more, I know I've seen quite a bit of you. Thank you. All right. All right, thank you. So thank you all for your support. None of us get paid for doing this work, so this is just in addition to our daytime jobs, which sometimes ACHE is our daytime job, to be honest. So I thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. We couldn't do this work and be as successful without your guys' support, leadership, guidance, feedback, throughout the year. So thank you. And then next slide. Our structure from a governance standpoint, we are structured into 14 different committees. We do have committees that get restructured, that are new. One of the things that we're excited about that we just launched under Baljeet's leadership is actually a Regents Advisory Council. So this is something where we have a robust team of senior executives throughout the chapter, working together with the Regent as well as with the presidency to really provide some really strategic oversight and guidance on how we can best serve you. So that's, we haven't had that for a few years, so we're excited to launch the Regional Advisory Committee. If there's any committees here, if you don't volunteer for the board, that you just have that itch to really get more involved, here's the committee structure. We have always opportunity to get people involved, and this is a way for us from a succession standpoint to help people, help guide them towards becoming on the board of directors. and potentially even coming up and becoming, the president of the local chapter. So this is the way, this is the pathway. So getting in with one of these committees. So definitely encourage you to reach out to one of the board of directors who are here and express your interests, vocalize it, and getting involved. I can tell you more than 120 of you have done that so far. Next slide. You can see the list of CAHL volunteers on our committee. So this is why, yes, please thank them. Thank you. You can see the depth of our volunteers. So these are folks who, although you don't see them visibly, they're doing a lot of work for us, whether that's the creation of our annual report or newsletters, planning this event, planning a lot of the education events that you saw there, those 48 events throughout the year. This is this group right here. So definitely nice job for our volunteers in 2019. Next slide. Also, we do have the opportunity for a few of our ACHE CAHL members to participate on national committees. So this is something each year, there's an opportunity for membership to actually be more involved at the national level. And I'm proud that we do consistently have CAHL members who are involved nationally. That's very important for the chapter. It's important, I think, for national ACHE governance and guidance. We are a very large chapter, and we have a lot of influence, I feel like, in regards to the work that we're doing. We do try to push ourselves to continue to improve and get better. And so if you have any interest in regards to participating on a national committee, let one of the presidents know, let Baljeet know, and we'll be happy to move that forward. I don't, maybe Heather will speak to this, I don't know off the top of my mind how many committees there are, but there's quite a bit. All right? So with that, I'm going to actually turn it over to Jason Lee to kick off our scholarship winners. So let's have Jason come up here. Thank you. And Alice went. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Thank you, Alice. Sorry. All right.
Do we have the clicker? Oh, next. Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Alice Wen. I'm the intern. Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. My name is Alice Wen. I'm the interim HEN chair. And so what we're going to talk through is just about our scholarships. We have one graduate and one undergraduate. I'm just going to go through our selection criteria here. We really looking for someone who are promoting high ethical standards and conduct, leadership potential, academic merit, and really serving the community. We wanted to make sure that these individuals were looking at it from lots of different spectrums, so we wanted to ensure that these are going to be our future leaders. So with that, next slide.
Yeah, no, this one, yeah. So we wanted to first recognize, my name is Jason Lee, by the way, I'm one of the co-chairs of the HEN. Wanted to recognize our members of ACHE that participated as judges, because we know that not only do we get a number of great applicants that are hoping to win the scholarship, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and we really appreciate all of many of you, some of you in this room that participated as judges. We had the judges read all of the applicants, so there were people assigned to the graduates, so they had to read all the graduate applicants, and some people assigned to the undergraduates, so they had to read all of them, because we didn't want any selection bias or anything like that. So it was a really a lot of work, and we appreciate those of you that participated in the judging process, and we think we've got some really good candidates that applied, and certainly some terrific winners today too. So with that, we are going to award our, whoops, let me get the certificate. Pardon me. So our undergraduate winner this year is Ivana Stevenson from Cal State Sacramento.
Hello, everyone. I'm just so grateful to be here right now. It's really an exciting experience. I just wanted to say a few thank yous, especially to my parents who came with me today. They've always supported me through all my educational endeavors and everything. My partner, he's over there as well. He's always been my backbone to hold me strong, keep going forward. I especially have to thank the CAHL Higher Education Network for selecting me to receive this award, and I also wanted to thank one of my professors I spent a lot of time with, Dr. Charles Matthias. I don't think he's here today, but he's honestly the one who showed me the scholarship, encouraged me to apply to it, and I'm very glad that he did. And just really grateful to be here today, so thank you.
You don't sit on the side. Congratulations, Ivana. And then on the graduate side, we've got a number of great graduate programs in NorCal. The winner of this year's graduate scholarship is Jennifer Aduaku. Jennifer. Jennifer is at the UCSF program, graduate program at UCSF.
I would like to thank my thank you. I would like to thank my family for all their love and support. I also want to thank my advisor, Lucy, who helped me in applying for the scholarship, and also for CAHL and all the people who selected me. Thank you.
Thank you all for all your help and support this year, and we look forward to a great scholarship next year as well.
All right, thank you, and congratulations again. That's amazing. I mean, this is a great example of our, even though it's small, it's our efforts to give back and to help the next generation along. So we're excited for both of you. Reach out to us anytime as you go throughout your educational journey. You know, you can get a sense of really the CAHL membership, how we really are family. You know, we really try to help one another as we continue to advance and grow. So nice work, Ken. That's our second year doing the scholarship, so we're going to continue to keep this up. And we're going to continue to get more applicants. We're going to have to figure out how we can manage the increase in applicants and how we can support as many students as we can. So with that, next slide. Oh, sorry, go back. So we're going to jump right into the ACHE Recognition Awards. And before I do this, for the scholarship winners as well as any winners in the future, we're going to go ahead and just do pictures, I think, after the event is over. We'll just ask you all to come up and we'll take a picture, you know, with the presidency and with DeVecchio, you know, as well, and Heather would like to join you as we network. So just want to throw that out there just to kind of keep us moving along. But in regards to the ACHE Service Award, so these is recognition that comes from ACHE. You can see the point totals here. There's 3 criteria with the service awards being achieved when you hit 30 points. 30 points. So it might not seem like a lot. It is a lot. It takes time, it takes effort to get to 30, trust me. You know, and that's really ACHE's way just to recognize those efforts because it does take a bit. And you get these service points from a variety of ways, whether that's through mentoring, whether that's through participating on a face-to-face event as a panelist or a moderator, whether it's participating as a committee member on the board or board of directors. These are some of the ways how you can get these service points. So we do have a few members, CAHL members, who are being recognized. You know, unfortunately, most of them aren't able to be here today, but we do want to recognize them. So we're just going to go through the list and recognize and you know, applaud the folks who received the service award. So Christos. Yeah. All right, Christos Arvanitis. So Christos was on our board, and he received a promotion at Cedars-Sinai. So unfortunately, he's down in the HCE chapter, but we'll make sure that he gets recognized and the chapter recognizes him as well for the service points. So well done, Christos. Michael Burrows. So Michael has experience at the CEO level, throughout organizations, and he was pleasantly surprised that he received the service award. So he's one of those members who we have an opportunity to continue to help, engage him and help him, continue his efforts towards obtaining the Distinguished Service Award, which is the next level. All right, go ahead. Lillian Chan is here. So Lillian, come on up. Where is Lillian? There you are, Lillian. Come on up. Come on up. Oh, yeah. Well, let me give you the award, and then you can go back at least. All right, Ada Clark with the VA. So thank you, Ada, for all the work you've done. And then go ahead. And then Frank Kahn. I don't know if Frank is here, but he's the Patient Safety Clinical Improvement Consultant at Sutter Health. So again, let's give a round of applause for our Service Award winners. And now I'm going to turn the time over to Baljit, our regent, to highlight the Distinguished Service Award winners, which are 75 points in regards to getting that award. So Baljit.
Please, thank you. All right, all right. I think Andrew was a little bit humble in really highlighting the amount of work that goes into getting some of these points. I mean, we're thinking 30 points, 75, 125. To give you a context, serving as a chapter board member, a formally elected position, or even an officer, is about 4 to 6 points, right? So you do that math, that's like 5, 6, 7 years of leadership. Like, this is really a very prestigious honor to get some of these awards. And also to give you some sense of, Andrew's comment earlier was pleasantly surprised, right? I think everyone who's received these awards is truly pleasantly surprised, because they're not aspiring to get, no one's joining ACHE to say, I'm gonna get that Distinguished Service Award, that's the only reason I'm gonna do this, and then I'm out, right? No one says that, right? So I think everyone truly, when they realize that what they've done and how they've accomplished it, it's just really an honor to be able to recognize that, again, amongst our peers, and to do that. So without further ado, it is my honor actually to recognize the next couple individuals. No surprise, Kim Brown Sims. I'll give you that. And then the award, right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I would say he needs no introduction, but hey, Andrew Pete, here we go.
All right, am I pleasantly surprised? I mean,
And because I'm sticking to the script,
Yes.
and now I'd like to invite Andrew back up to the podium to do the next part.
Right, thanks.
Of course, my pleasure.
Yeah, we're playing this out. We practice that a lot. It's like, okay, how am I going to give myself the award for these service points? But, the Baljit's point, and I mentioned this last year, we, even though we're not aspiring to, it would be fantastic if everyone in this room receives one of these awards, right? So what does that mean? It means you're giving back. You're giving back to the industry. You're giving your time. You're giving your energy to help share your best practices, share your experience, help a student, help an early careerist, whatever it is. We want to make sure we recognize those efforts, and ACHE does have a fantastic program to do that. So honored that I received the Distinguished Service Award, as I'm sure Kim can express that sentiment. So, but yeah, it was a little awkward, like how we're going to do this. But moving on. So Volunteer of the Year Award. So you saw that list of 120 volunteers plus. So we have a great lineup of volunteers who really have gone above and beyond in regards to their efforts. And there's so many we can recognize. And we try to recognize one Volunteer of the Year award in each geographic area in the state, in our chapter. So that's the Bay, the Sacramento area, and then the Central Valley area. So we are going to go ahead and announce our first Volunteer of the Year award, representing, I believe, the Bay Area's first. Yes, in regards to David Betancourt. David, all right, get up here. So, David and apologize, you got a hurt arm. I'll put you in this arm then. Congratulations, David. Appreciate it, man. Good job. David's been very active, and you can hear the audience cheers. So David, we recognized him last year. He continues full on pedal to the metal, right? I mean, you are very involved. He is leading our mentoring network, which has been very successful in really connecting mentees with mentors in the chapter, and really putting a lot of nice structure and governance in that program. But David, nice work. We appreciate all you do on top of your full-time job at John Muir. So thanks, David. Well done. All right. The next one is Gary. There you go, Gary. So Gary represents our Central Valley region down in Fresno. Nice work, Gary. Appreciate it, man. There you go. You know, our Central Valley, there's not as many members down in that part of the chapter. We've historically had a hard time engaging our members down in that area until Gary came. So Gary has done a fantastic job with just staying visible with the membership there, organizing these remote events, organizing networking, face-to-face, learning for leader events, being active, doing as much as he can. So I'm proud, Gary, that you received the Volunteer of the Year award. So thank you for that, for all you do for the chapter. All right, and representing our Sacramento area for Volunteer of the Award is Nora Powers. Nora, it looks like you're pleasantly surprised as well. Yes.
Yeah, pleasantly surprised.
Nice work. Nice work.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, don't run.
Yes. So with Nora, this is long overdue, Nora. I mean, you have done. I've been with historically, and still being involved. Even though you're no longer on the board, we do miss your presence, but you're still involved and you're still helping with the advancement. So, thank you, Nora, for all you do, and well deserved. Next one. So, congratulations. Also, we received a nomination for Michelle Nguyen, who was one of the nominees, so we definitely want to recognize and highlight her. Is she here? No, not. Okay, so we'll get that to her as well. All right, next slide. All right, the President's Recognition Award. So this is something, as a president, I'm proud that I can be able to provide this award to someone, historically has put in time, has put in energy to the chapter, to the board, to all of us, and I'm proud to recognize Toby Marsh, as the President Recognition Award. So Toby, as a immediate past president, it does take a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy to be able to take the helm of the chapter and of the board. A lot of issues coming at you as multiple directions, and on top of that, being the chief nurse executive at UC Davis, one of the best-known national academic medical centers in the nation. For you to continue to stay involved in your busy role, it means a lot to the board and to the chapter. So we thank you for your leadership and for your efforts, and also your efforts to help bring in more nurses to the chapter. You are a great leader, and we appreciate you being visible and continue to help us along the way. So well done, Toby. Thanks. All right, now I'm actually going to turn it over to Kim Brown-Sims, who will introduce Heather as our speaker.
So we are quite honored this evening to have with us the most prestigious Heather Rohan. She's a fellow in the American College of Healthcare Executives, and I'm going to throw out there, it's contained in her bio, but she's a registered nurse as well. Woot woot to nurses. So Heather has over 30 years of extensive healthcare experience serving in a variety of leadership roles in both administration and patient care within HCA Healthcare. Based in Nashville, Tennessee, Ms. Rohan has served as the president of HCA's Healthcare TriStar Division since 2016, where she oversees a network of 19 hospitals and multiple access points, including freestanding ERs, oncology centers, behavioral health centers, physician practices, urgent care centers, imaging centers, and telemedicine across Tennessee, southern Kentucky, and northwest Georgia. You go. As a nurse, Ms. Rohan is passionate about the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of patients and caregivers. She is committed to a patient-first culture where every patient receives quality, compassionate care. Ms. Rohan believes that people are the key to any organization's success. Each day, Ms. Rohan and her management team work alongside facility leaders to provide superior patient-centered care. Ms. Rohan began her career with HCA as an associate nursing administrator. Inspired to lead, she went on to assume roles of increasing and diverse responsibility, such as Chief Nursing Officer, Chief Operating Officer, and CEO. Prior to becoming division president, Ms. Rohan served as the president and chief executive officer of TriStar Centennial Medical Center, a 657-bed comprehensive health care facility in Nashville. Under her leadership from 2012 to 2016, the hospital received numerous recognitions for superior patient care while simultaneously experiencing unprecedented growth in the care delivery and expanding pediatric cardiovascular and orthopedic services. Previously, Ms. Rohan... It is really difficult to hear about yourself. We'll just welcome Heather Rohan up to the stage. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, hello, CAHL. I am so happy to be with you this evening in your beautiful state, and how rewarding it is to listen to all of the awards, all of the work that's being done in this chapter. Andrew, in looking at, I've looked at your website, I looked at your board. You have a large board, a diverse board, and you are doing great work in this chapter. Programmatically, you are spot on with the programs that you're providing. The scholarship program is fantastic. And the highlight of the members that you have, that you're showcasing your different members, it's everything that a chapter should be. And really, the chapters are where the work is done. The work is done right here by you, by the volunteer leaders that are reaching out and connecting with each other in order to help us improve healthcare outcomes as leaders together. I salute you and I admire you for choosing healthcare. What's more rewarding than that? As you heard, I've been at it for more than 30 years. I love it. I love it just as much as I did the first day that I started in healthcare. So for me tonight, I'm going to give a brief overview of some updates on ACHE, where we're at, where we're headed, and a lot of where we're headed and where we're at is just like yourselves. It's important for us to stay, as an association, understanding who we serve, and we are here to serve you. And we are here to make sure that we are relevant and that we're pertinent and that we become something that you feel a value, whether you early, I see some early careerists here, I see mid-careerists, and I see senior careerists. So wherever you are in your career, we want to make sure that there's a value for you to be part of ACHE. So, next slide. In terms of, we're 86 years old as an organization, believe it or not. Again, made up of members and individuals from all over the country through all walks of healthcare. We're going to move through quickly because I know we're, and then this audience, okay, we are over 48,000 members, and the audience here looks like the audience here. And this is exactly what we're striving for, having an audience, having members that represent all walks of life, all phases of healthcare, all parts of healthcare. Again, in looking at your board, you've got nurses, you've got folks in acute care, subacute care, and all throughout the continuum, and that's what's important because really that's where healthcare is at today. For the vision, what do we want to be? We want to be indispensable to you. We want you to be thinking about, we want to be able to be on your phone each day that we're sending messages to you, that we're relating to you, and that we become indispensable as a resource and a partner for you as you advance throughout your career to be the preeminent healthcare organization. And in terms of our mission, sorry, go back please. It's about helping advance you in healthcare leadership. And then finally, our values, much like the values that you have within your organizations, are based in the very foundational things that make people respect and care for each other. That's dignity, respect, integrity, all of that. When we look at, in terms of what we're looking to do, we want to educate, engage, and inspire leaders to improve health. When in healthcare, we know that it's a calling somewhere along the lines for all of us, either someone that we knew was affected by an illness, maybe our parents were in healthcare, something happened that connected and clicked with us to say, this is what I want to do and the passion that I'm going to follow. Next slide. So why does it matter to me? My photo there, so this is me. My presentation, somewhere, you're streaming live tonight. Mine did not quite stream all the way across from Nashville to here. But here's my why. I mean, what happened, this is my why. I'm 16 years old, my dad is 49, and he had a heart attack. I came home from school one day, I find someone else, a strange person in my dad's car saying, I'm gonna drive you to the hospital because your dad has had a heart attack, and he was near death. At that moment, I watched the nurses, this is in Gary, Indiana, where I grew up. I watched the nurses save his life. I saw all the work that went on there, and I decided that day I'm going to become a nurse. I'm going to go into healthcare, and I've never looked back since. And when you talk about a career, starting in nursing into where I am today, a message I want to leave you with tonight. First of all, ACHE has been with me for over 25 years of that journey, beside me, as an early careerist, mid-careerist, and today as a senior careerist. So wherever I've been in my journey, ACHE has been right there. I shared this at Congress. I walked into the first Congress I ever went to, and I was blown away. And there were 4,000 people there, and I thought, oh, who are these people? They're so smart. They know so much. I don't know anything. What do I do when I'm trying to travel through those hallways? So I have counted on ACHE, because my career path has not been like this. My career path has been sort of like the hills out there and the roads that wind through those hills. In my career, I want you to know that I have had my job has been eliminated along the way. I've been demoted along the way. I have closed a hospital along the way. I haven't gotten the promotion I wanted a few times. But every time I didn't get the promotion, the next thing that happened for me, am I supposed to get by the streaming? Okay.
Oh, you're okay.
Okay.
I'm adjusting.
But the next thing that happened for me was better. So what I want to share with you tonight, no matter where you are in your career, early, mid, wherever you are, if the path isn't like this, don't worry about it. Because if you keep your dream alive and you persevere and you persist at what you want to do, you will achieve your goals and you will get to the goal that you are achieving. And we hope and believe that ACHE can be such a valuable partner for you as you make that journey as it was for me. So this environment today, okay, healthcare, we know it is never going to be stable, it's never going to be boring, it's never going to be, we know what's going to happen tomorrow necessarily. We wouldn't have gone into healthcare if we thought that or if we knew that. How many of you have a calendar that you set for the next day or perhaps the week, and that next day is nothing like that? It doesn't happen. And you go home and say, I didn't get anything done today, look at my day. But you really did. And you know why you did? Because you care about people. And so somewhere, somehow, when you walk through the door, in the daytime, at nighttime, wherever it is that you walk through the door, you did make a difference, and you did make an impact for someone. May have been with a patient, may have been with a coworker, maybe with a family, but somewhere you made a difference, and that's the beauty of what we do within healthcare. So we've got big things happening legislatively. I don't know about all the landscape in your state of California. I'm sure it's interesting and dynamic, like Tennessee. And then federally, what happens federally? You know, what's going to happen? When we hear Medicare for all, what does that mean? We want access to care for everyone. What is the right way and what's the right road to get there? I don't know if the answers we've heard thus far will help us do that and be able to maintain the system that we have today. And that's why it's important that we be educated, knowledgeable about the legislative issues around us, both on a state level and a federal level, and make sure that those that we work with are connected to that as well. We see mergers. We see things that we've got executive orders. What about the disclosure of prices in healthcare? That's making a lot of waves in Tennessee. I don't know about California, but that is a real interesting story there. And all of this happening. So there's nothing so constant as change. We've heard that before. And certainly that's the truth in healthcare. And when you're in healthcare and healthcare leadership, you have to love change. You have to expect change and embrace change. So the next day when you come back in and it's different, that as a leader, you're able to accept that and you're able to help the rest of the staff and the rest of your team adapt to that change as well. When we look at our strategic plan, just as you've set out a plan within your organizations for multi-years to make sure that you've got a vision that guides you to the future for where you'll be, we've done the same thing. And you've seen our strategic plan. Who's seen it? Everyone in the room? Of course. Okay, seeing most of the hands. Take a look. I know you have, Andrew. I know you've seen it. But the plan is simple. It's one page. We did that purposefully so you could, because we didn't want to have a big book or big binder that you never take off the shelf and what is this plan. But really, it's very simple here. We want to be a catalyst in the healthcare environment to improve care. We will never be done. We will never rest until patients are not harmed. And as long as that is happening, we are not done. We want to be a connector across the leadership community and connecting people, connecting organizations. And we want to be a trusted partner for you, for our members, and for all of our members. And so at the bottom, just restating kind of what our vision is to be that preeminent society, professional society, to advance our members in healthcare leadership, and then our core values. So being a catalyst, what does that look like? Next slide, catalyst. So being a catalyst, that makes making something move, and being a catalyst, something that's really exciting that happened. How many of you have downloaded the Blueprint for Safety and looked at it? All right, I see about 5 or 6 hands. Let me invite you, next slide. That number is a sobering and sad number. Still today, we have over 250,000 people dying within our facilities. I know that as we are engaged, you are engaged in hospital-acquired infections, in falls with injury, all the things that happen to patients when they come in our hospitals, and all the work that must be done. You know the analogy. This would be like a plane crashing every day, which we would never accept in the United States of America. We would never accept it. And yet it happens in our hospitals. People get hurt in our hospitals. And so we must do something to abate that and never rest until we do. So the next slide, what we've done, the Blueprint for Safety. Guess what? It's free. It's free. This is a tool that was put together a couple of years ago by ACHE and the IHI. And when you download this tool, you're going to find an assessment for your organization. Take a look at it. If nothing else, it's going to help you kind of do a pulse check on where are we in the scheme of things and how strong is our safety in our organization. We are utilizing it this year within HCA as the foundation for us and guiding us towards safety. So if you do nothing else, a couple of things. One of them is to please take a look at this and download it. Next slide. Then what I'll ask you to do, if you would, is take the Pledge for Safety. This is symbolic. All this does is that you're committing visibly by signing this to say, I am committed to doing better things for patients and making patient care safer. And you can do it in your organization, do it with your senior team, do it with your department directors, do it with your team, and sign this, take a picture, send it to us, we'll put it on our website. This is what the pledge looks like. I've signed it. These are some of our illustrious folks, some former governors up there and others that we highlighted this at Congress this past year, and Leading for Safety. So this part in terms of, in addition to patient safety, all of these things are things that we are engaged in as healthcare leaders. I don't think there's one thing there on that screen that you're not working on just as we are working on within our state and in all the states of the country. And how can we come together to find ways with which we can address the opioid crisis, healthcare equity? We want to serve as that catalyst to bring education, information, resources with which to do that. Next slide. So being a connector, next slide, connecting people. All right, so Pathways for Transformation, this is just one example. How many physicians in the room do we have? That's Fayola. Hi, how are you, Fayola? This is a lady that's on fire, I can tell you that. I met Fayola at Congress. And Fiola's got a dream, and she's got a vision about what she wants to do in strengthening leadership for physicians and in eliminating burnout. And I commend you for it. But when we look at it today, and when we happening in terms of healthcare leaders, we are finding nurses, physicians, and others in the CEO role. So we want to partner with the clinicians, whoever may need additional leadership training to help them be successful in those roles. And it can start, with the Career Edge. All right, next question. Who has downloaded Career Edge and looked at it? A few more hands, good. Another great tool. This tool was the result of the Career Task Force several years ago in ACHE, and that Career Task Force was set up just for this, to say, how do we meet people where they are in their career? If they're just starting out, if they're in the middle of their career, or a little later in their career, how can we help them? So when you go on Career Edge, what's cool for our early careerists in the room, you can do a virtual interview. It'll help you with your resume. It'll tell you jobs that are available. So please, take a look at Career Edge. Again, free, a resource for you. So for the physician, Career Edge, getting certificates, online programs, and then that next level of getting board certification, leadership programs, physician executive boot camp that we have, and executive forum, and then our senior executive program and coaches directory. So what the map here shows is, again, walking side by side with that leader, no matter where they are in their journey, to help them in their aspirations to be the very best leader that they can be. So this collaboration is now a couple of years old, a collaboration that we've done with the American Society of Anesthesiologists. We found common ground and goals in saying, many of the anesthesiologists were looking to enter into leadership roles and wanted to work with someone that had a good body of knowledge and expertise and resources for that. And we did, so we formed an affiliation with them and are planning programs and doing programs together in order to help each other, again, in improving healthcare outcomes. And in terms of advancing diversity and inclusion, we are partnered with many organizations, whether it's the LGBT, a few different things. If you've been at Congress, again, we've launched a reception there. I think last year we had over 400 people in connecting together and bringing people together. We have our scholarships, our diversity scholarships, that are helping identify individuals and helping them along their path to succeed. And we also have a website now that we've created also for looking for career opportunities in that way as well. And you can see here, and actually ACHE won an award, the Welcoming Environment Organizational Award, which was given by the Association Forum, just for that whole idea of being welcoming and embracing all and inclusion. Our diversity program, we gave 36 scholarships out since 2014. Our diversity forums that we have, we've got over 300 members in those communities. Our Better Together reception I mentioned. The Diversity Career Navigator is a separate one away from Career Edge, but take a look at that one also. It's I believe it's edcnavigator.org. Check that one out as well. And then our summer enrichment program. Are any of you hosting an intern this summer through the program? Of course, Del Vecchio is my fellow board member, so happy, represents your state so well. But that's a neat thing to do too. These are up and coming young leaders that want to make a difference and can make a difference in the world, just looking for that chance to work with a great healthcare leader. Next. Leader to leader, how many of you have availed yourself of this in bringing new members? I see one hand back, a couple of hands. Okay, cool stuff. Always great. Do you ever have enough mugs and enough umbrellas? I don't know if you do, but the symbolism behind this, yes, we're happy to award the prizes, but even more importantly, it's about that someone is joining because of you, because you had a conversation with them. And they think, hey, I want to be part of that too. Andrew, you mentioned something like, we'll get you, we'll keep you for life, right? Well, that's what we want too. We want that in ACHE. We want that experience to be such that when you join us, just as in your organizations, typically that first year is where you see most of the attrition. You're checking it out to see, is this worth my while? Was it worth the money? Am I feeling welcomed? What's the value here? And once you stay in, just like the team that you work with, they're going to stay for the long haul. So we've got to make sure that that first experience, that first year is really valuable and important. And then that trusted partner by your side in your journey, just like me. Next slide. This was the convocation. How many fellows in the room do we have? A Well, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations. That's not an easy thing to achieve. In the scheme of your day jobs and all the things you have to do, this is a test you have to study for, and it's hard. And it's hard. So congratulations. I commend you for achieving your board certification. This is one of the convocations. I hope you had a chance to do that. I hope you had a chance to come to Congress. You achieved your fellow. You know, last year, phases of career stage. How cool is that? And you know why that's cool? Because they really want to be a partner, and they want to understand the things that we understand as healthcare leaders. And when you understand that, you can be a better partner. Anybody have Cerner here in their hospitals, in their systems? I see a hand back. All right. People to ideas. Again, that's a good number. The number that you've provided here in this chapter is outstanding and amazing, what you've done right here in California. And that's, as I said before, this is where the work is happening in your chapter and in our chapters. Lots of hours of education given. And learning is changing. So the symbol of this slide, how do people want to learn today? We recognize the fact, just as you are, because you're streaming, because you're so innovative. Did you win an Innovators Award? I think you did. Because you're streaming now, which is what people want. People want their information where? In their phone, now, when I want it, when I need it. I don't want to have to travel somewhere, sit somewhere. So we get that. We understand that. And like any association, it's a time continuum to make the changes, but we are with you on that in wanting to bringing education to you easier, quicker, faster, and more personalized for you. And so where we are today and where we're headed for the future, want you to know, our typical programs, Congress, the clusters that we have, again, we're moving along a continuum to find ways to be more intentional, more specific and personal relative to our members and what they are looking for and what they need when they need it. How many of you have watched the podcast that we're doing out of Healthcare Executive? Anybody? Okay, good, like it. We're going to do more of that because we want to, again, when do you have time to learn? When do you want to learn? When you've got a few minutes, that's when you want to learn, and we want to make sure that happens. Then this concierge learning services, again, understanding, again, what's important to you and looking at all of our publications and assets, making sure that they are of value. And then finally, making things just on demand when you want it, where you need it, when we're bringing it to you. So we have begun this, and I don't know if you've availed yourself of any of this, and this is choice, where you can bring programs to your organizations. Has anybody tried this yet or availed themselves of this option? We've got, again, a faculty of leaders that will come to your hospital if you want to do a program on patient safety, you want to do a program on governance, whatever that might be, we're happy to do that again in bringing education to you. And key events coming up, I saw a couple of clusters coming up, and I think one's in San Diego in a couple of months, and I know there's one out east, I believe it's in New York, and a key topic, behavioral health. What a topic that's probably resonates with every single person in this room and beyond in healthcare as far as resources, some great faculty that have done some really innovative things within their communities to help with where the patients are, how do they get access to care, and then what happens when they are back out in the community. So we have that. Congress is coming up in March. I believe it's March 23rd. This past Congress, who attended Congress? Worth the time? With value for the investment? Thank you. That's really important, that there was a sense of value for attending. We had over 4,300 people attend. We had over 175 sessions at the last Congress. So imagine that, putting that together, and there's hopefully something for everyone in this room. There were lots of things on patient safety. We had a boot camp on it, high reliability organization, and all the things that you're engaged in within your organizations to help you be better leaders and better outcomes. And our partnership, again, talked about the chapters and events, but really what the key here in all the slide is the word you. Because we wouldn't exist without you, we can't exist without you, and there would be no value if you were not here and you weren't members. And for you that are serving on the board and serving in leadership positions here, we would not exist. And we exist to support you and to be there for you. We are evolving our digital strategy. I hope you've checked out the website recently. If you haven't, please do. If you were at Congress and saw ACHE 365, if you checked that out, hopefully it made it easy for you to find your way, navigate your way, get messages and other things. Again, we're moving into that next innovative technology, easier to use phase as an association as well. And you can see that we've got a plan here. We are now we go into a deep dive for our strategic plan next year and identifying what's going to be important for the future. This year, we had our board meeting in June when Delvecchio was there with our colleagues, and we did a gut check to say, are we on target with our plan? How do things look? And in general, the basic premises are good. A couple of things that were of note, though, were a couple of years ago at Chapters Leaders Conference, we had early careerists speak about what's important to them as they begin their careers. And so we heard that, and one thing we're going to be piloting is a career concierge. And we're going to take, I think, about 50 people, early career, and we're going to begin this pilot, I think, in the fall. And what we're going to do with them is connect with them almost in a mentoring relationship, phone calls, emails, to say, how can we help? Where can we help? And see if this type of personalized connection will make a difference in helping someone navigate their career. So we're going to do that. And the other thing we're going to do is put together next year, we're going to put together a chapter task force. And what this is going to be about is, again, helping understand ways that we can provide more support, more resources for our chapters and our chapter boards and our chapter leaders. Recognizing, again, that you have day jobs and that this takes a lot of work. And so if we're truly going to be servant leaders and we're going to be a servant association as we want to be, we have to find out what's going to be important. And so look for that to be coming forth very soon. Next slide. Career Edge, talked about that. Check it out. And then the Fund for Healthcare Leadership. Are there any members here in the room? Fund for Healthcare Leadership. And this fund, I know, yes, I see a few hands. And the fund for this leadership is, in your life you choose, what do I give to? What do I participate in? What's the value of something what calls me and what do I care about? Sometimes it's the Heart Association, sometimes it's United Way, it may be something especially that calls to you. This particular organization, and giving to this organization, is to help advance healthcare leadership. It's helping provide those scholarships. It's helping provide giving somebody a chance that may not have had it before. So I would ask you to consider a donation. Anything counts, everything matters in the fund. We've been able to, again, have had great success in the past years. Here's a quote from one of our Dolan Executive Diversity Scholars. We meet these folks every year. Their stories are amazing. They're excited. They can't wait to get out there. They're why we do what we do every day. When you've been in healthcare for a number of years, what gets you excited in the morning when you get up? Why do you want to get up and go and do what you do every day? Well, these guys have that fire, and they want to take on the world. They want to make things better. These are our corporate partners. Just to be aware, as I mentioned Cerner before, new partner this year is Envision. You may work with some of these folks within your organizations, but what I want you to know is that they have invested in us and invested in you as healthcare leaders, as our corporate partners. And then I know that I believe you know that ACHE has been on a Baldrige journey. And so that's kind of putting your money where your mouth is. That's about saying, hey, we want to be better. We're going to take a very disciplined approach so that we can be better for our members. And we're leading together. So we are, again, I salute you. I commend you. You inspire me. Just listening to your story of CAHL tonight, I'm inspired by all the work you're doing. And we're all doing it for patients. We're all doing it so patients can have better care and that patients don't get hurt. So I thank you for choosing healthcare. And I also thank you for choosing leadership. Not always easy, but you're doing it and you're doing it well. So thank you very much. I think that's it. Yes. Thanks very much for your attention. I really enjoyed being with you this evening. I don't know if there's any questions. I'll open it. If there's a question, I'd be happy to answer.
She has time.
Or a comment.
All right.
Okay. All right.
All right. Oh, there's a question for you.
Oh, yes.
How do you become part of the quote-unquote test group for the concierge?
I'll take your name if you're interested. All right, very good. I'll take your name. Sure.
No other questions? All right. On behalf of CAHL, we just want to say thank you so much for your time and energy and a little bit of Napa libation for you to
Oh,
take home.
beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, Andrew, I mean, ever since I talked with these guys last year and like, hey, would you come? They have been so kind, so communicative, so much information, so helpful. So again, it's my great honor to be with you this evening. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. You know what? You took a lot of your time to come out. We want to send you with warm farewell from California.
Oh, thank
you have 190 members here supporting you and your leadership and throughout the year. So thanks, Heather, for that presentation. Nice work. Baljeet, please join me. We're going to do the Regents presentation and awards.
All right, so a few things. We had a raffle, so I just want to get ready and get you guys, folks, and get your tickets out for the raffle. No? Okay, then I guess the chances for raffle, someone winning, has increased tremendously at this point. So, that being said, ticket number, I guess the last four is 6121? Yay! It was close. It was very competitive. I just want to say. And by no coincidence, that was 6121. The next raffle winner was 6122. I just read the raffle tickets, guys. It's okay. Okay. And well, for next year then. This is great. So that way. Was it 6? Do you want another one? Sure. What's the number?
So last 4 digits, 6118.
Oh, that's me.
Yay! Thank you. One of the things, before we get started, one of the things I think we'd be remiss and really the work that's been done today and the folks we recognize, I think it would be a huge misstep for us not to recognize the folks that have come before us, right? Like, I mean, we're lucky and humbled and privileged to be in these positions and to serve the community and the board now. But I do just want to, I look around the room and I know that we have past board members, past presidents, past regents, even if not this district. So if you were please stand up for a moment. I'd love for us to recognize you and just thank you for your service before us to get us to where we are today. Also, a huge thank you to, we have a couple other members that round out our executive committee, and that is Melanie Tutai, who's been driving valiantly for us this evening. Thank you so much, as our board secretary. And our board treasurer, Kimberly Blechter-Jones, here we go. She recently won the raffle. You guys remember her from there, yeah? One of the key parts I think we've mentioned is that a lot of folks this evening have put in their PTO, right? Their partner time off, their parent time off, other things just to be here. And like those points that we talked about for the service awards, everything, the events we put on, the traveling. I mean, just for example, we have the chair of ACHE here, 78 chapters, 48,000 members, and she's here with us, right? And not to mention that day job that she has, that small little part of what she does. And so everyone here is taking time away from something to be here, and I think that's a huge deal. You guys you probably have to jet out of here right after this to go home and put food into someone's mouth or for someone, or to get ready for work tomorrow, and all the emails that were left unread when you hit Bay Area traffic. So thank you for that as well. That's a huge deal for us. Again, Jennifer and Ivana, thank you so much, and congratulations to your families. It's again, I mentioned that. Ivana, in your comments, you mentioned having a strong partner and both for referencing your families, and I think that is you're just starting that journey now. So thank you in advance. It's gonna be a great journey. It'll be a little bit of challenges and celebrations, but thank you guys for being here tonight as well. So. That being said, it's really exciting for us to offer these next awards and to really identify and recognize these individuals. So we want to bring up the first individual, and without further ado, if we can advance the slide. That's my slides. Okay, so we're going to do, sorry, I thought we were going to do a different order. No, this is perfect. We'll go with this, if that's okay. Can we go? Thank you. Healthcare is all about adapting and pivoting, guys. This is a really big thing for us to do. One thing that comes up quite a bit is I've talked with many folks at many events, and I've said, hey, I'm the regent. And about 5 minutes into the conversation, after we've talked and got to know each other, they're like, what's a regent? You know, and so really quickly, just want to share what that is. And so the role of the regent in ACHE, we're the part of the Council of Regents. There's 70 regents, and that's really the legislative body of ACHE. What that means is this group is the link between the members and ACHE around the elements like governance, membership regulations, promoting ACHE programs, and kind of enhancing chapter relations. We also elect the Board of Governors and the chairman-elect, and we also have the opportunity to establish a Regents Advisory Council, which I've done. One thing to articulate here is this is also an advocacy arm. So we have talked about, and we referenced earlier, the need to have and really promote professional growth and becoming fellows. But there's some challenges, right? Some folks are started off as either a floor nurse or just started off as an intern, never went back to school, never got that master's degree that's required to be eligible to be a fellow. And so, you know, ACHE has, in the past years, been more thoughtful around how do we approach this without diluting the quality of the fellow designation. So these are all things that if these are challenges you're experiencing on your journey, that's what I would love to step in and lean in on for with you guys. And so please spread the word and spread the word to your colleagues around that aspect of it. So it's not just, you know, getting up here and presenting raffle stuff. It's really actually doing some work outside of this on your behalf. Regents Advisory Council, so this year I had the opportunity to stand up a RAC. And so I put out a solicitation through our newsletter and through some standalone messages, and was very, very thrilled and floored that so many folks here were able to say, you know what, we'll contribute and join and be a part of the Regents Advisory Council. So I know we have some members in the room. If you can just stand up as well for me. Abraham, Andrew, Ken, welcome, Luis. So the RAC, what did we do this year? Part of it is to provide advice to the region on matters of ACHE policy, things I just mentioned earlier, as well as promoting the interests of all really the members that are represented by our chapter, right? One of the other key things here is how do we connect the needs from our members of the RAC who represent their organizations, many of them in executive positions, around what brings value to their organization and to their employees that work with them, and how do we kind of close that gap a bit more. Again, another facet or vantage point for all the work we've talked about this evening. One of the other piece was then the Regents Awards nominees and Regents Awards. And so we're able to actually, this year, we put out a solicitation for nominees for a senior careerist and an early careerist healthcare executive award. And so thank you for the RAC and their service around reviewing an amazing slate of candidates and really selecting some individuals that tonight I have the privilege of going through and reading a little bit about them and sharing with you kind of their story. And so, but before we get to those individuals, the idea is what's the criteria for getting a Regents Award? And so at the risk of not going through this and reading through it, it's really just, you know, you're a member of ACHE as early careerist, and then as a senior executive careerist, you're a fellow. Then there's another distinction around you're participating in local, state, and provincial organizations, and then as a more senior advanced careerist, you're actually demonstrating some leadership in those groups. And then as you get through this, you'll see that there's leadership ability not just in ACHE, it's also in your community. How are you actually giving back to not just the profession, but in addition to that, what are you doing to give back to your local community in a personal way and a professional way? So ideally at the end of these next 15 or 20 minutes, once you get through the candidates, I hope that you'll join me recognizing that these are really truly individuals that embody that quality and those characteristics. So this is going to be a fade. So I would like to welcome our first award recipient for the evening for 2019's Early Careerist Healthcare Executive Award, Ida Bazabe. I was worried you weren't going to.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I'd like to share a little bit about Ida. So currently, she's a consultant at Kaiser Permanente, where she provides strategic and operational improvement support across 23 med centers within the Northern California region. She's also held roles at Sanford Healthcare, where she's helped open a new cancer center, and Sutter Health, where she's supported some business ops across 6 service lines. She's also a trained Baldrige examiner and a Lean Six Sigma black belt, and led the hospital-wide pursuit of the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. In 2017, her hospital received the state-level California Award for Performance Excellence, award only to 2 organizations. And so the award was about how the Baldrige framework applies to their operational work there. Colleagues describe Ida as an effective leader who influences change with empathy and compassion, and always eager to bring a positive attitude to everything she does. Now, her commitment outside of healthcare, then this is the part that I was mentioning earlier, she's also an appointed clinical professor at University of California, San Francisco, UCSF, in the Department of Community Health Systems. She's been an active member of the CAHL Diversity Committee for many years and has planned several Bay Area diversity networking events. She's president-elect of the Women's Healthcare Executive Association and a member of NACI, the National Association of Health Services Executives. She's passionate about community outreach, so much so that she received the City of San Jose commendation from Mayor Sam Liccardo for her leadership in health outreach efforts, because for the past 4 years, she's organized an annual health conference focused on providing culturally relevant information and eliminating stigmas associated with healthcare in the Ethiopian community. She's also a member of Stanford's Office of Community Engagement as a health navigator, and she's focused on identifying breast cancer disparities in the African American community. She recently founded We Flourish, an organization with a mission that is to create diverse and inclusive space for meaningful conversations that inspire women to live their best lives and prioritize wellness of mind, body, and spirit. She's always seeking opportunities for professional development and community building. She's an active member of the Bay Area healthcare community, and she's always networking, learning, and sharing her knowledge with others. In addition to developing herself, she is dedicated to developing and mentoring those around her, and she's always volunteering her time to mentoring students, career panels with CAHL, WIC, her alma mater is UCLA to UCSF, and the Ethiopian community. So with that, she's already established a legacy and has truly made an impact in healthcare and beyond. We are so proud to be even affiliated and associated with her as exemplary role model, well-rounded individual with a true passion for serving others and those around her. So again, please join me in recognizing her. I think I'd also like to take a moment just to share a little bit of a personal anecdote here. So, you know, these events, the annual awards ceremony particularly, it's always and this is for me, by the way, no projecting. This has always been a little bit bittersweet for me, right? So I'm coming to these events, and, you know, I'm seeing, and I look across the room, and I see all my colleagues and my peers, right, at all walks of their careers and pieces, and I kind of step back, and I have this epiphany to myself, and I think, wow, I am so underwhelming, right? Like, I am the least coolest guy here. Because, like, I'm talking to someone for, like, 5 minutes, and, like, here's what I do, and here's what I did, and here's all the stuff that's going on at work, and da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm, like, you know, catching my breath, because I'm like, man, that's a 60-hour work week right there, you know? And then the person's like, yeah, great. So I do all that, and I do 55 other things, right? Like, I collect signatures on the weekend in San Francisco for Greenpeace, and I, like, drive soccer, and I coach t-ball, and you're just like, what is going on here? Like, this is incredible. And so it's not that it's a debilitating self-esteem blow, but it's, I again, not projecting, just me. But you think back, and I'm like, what it does is so motivating, right? It's like, I come to this event every year, and even our other events, and I just look back and I look around, and I'm just like, I'm so motivated to go out and do more, right, and be better, and to give out, and to give more of what I can. I had a story, and the other stories you'll hear, and it's just incredible. Like, where do people find the time for this? And then not only that, but then the communities that they're benefiting, you know? It's just incredible. So I just, again, it's a little bit of, as I was reading and preparing for this evening, and you know, doing a little bit of online stalking for everyone that's getting an award tonight, so it wasn't just you, Ida. It's like, wow, I am just so impressed and just so humbled to be here and have the opportunity to be around you guys. So kind of a little bit of a tangent there, but I just really want to share that with you. This whole evening, my goal has been trying to be as candid as possible about my career journey and about the role, and I just really thank you for giving me a second there. So, back onto the program. Next up, our second 2019 Early Careerist Healthcare Executive Award winner is Andrew Pete. Please, you're at least surprised by this.
So I sit on the rack, and I don't remember this application coming through. So I don't, whether it's raffles or this, you do a good job hiding and not communicating the message. So thank you.
I'm glad it worked. No, there's a lot of lying that occurred on the rack. So I just want to. It's not reflective of what you'll see for the next couple of years. I had to. I told them that the actual meeting where we decided the nominations and nominees, I told them that meeting was canceled. I was like, hey, actually, we're not having that. And then. So I wanted to really make that a surprise. And you've seen Andrew up here throughout the evening. You've seen him receive a couple different awards. And it's one of the things that when I first joined, I kind of saw this as well when I was an early careerist and a student. And I was like, wow, all these people know each other. Is this just like one of those, good old boys clubs where, like, just to be totally candid, is that what's happening here? Or folks know each other? And then you start to immerse yourself in meeting everyone and hearing their stories and personalities. And it's no surprise that the folks that are recognized are the folks that are giving and the folks that are making time. And so it's something that I hope that everyone can be proud of. Andrew, I hope we're so proud of you, and I hope you're proud of this as well, that you and the other recipients this evening have earned every bit of this, because you're here preparing for these meetings, other meetings, the conference calls, everything in between, and so we're just really thrilled. And it might come as a surprise to you that he's still an early careerist, but I would love to be able to read through a couple of things that I think it's important for you to know about him. First off, he's with Sutter Health System, and after completing his administrative fellowship at Hartford Hospital, he came down to Sutter, and where he developed some teams both in the neuroscience program and the peri-op services program, which is where he's now. He's a fellow and active within the professional community, but he's also contributed significantly to CAHL in the sense that he's now chapter president. He served as president-elect, and he's been an incredible asset to the program, particularly in Sacramento. So we had these islands of excellence in CAHL for a while, where it's, well, only events are happening in the Bay Area, and we're not going to be able to get over there. And so Andrew, several years ago, when he joined and he moved in to the state, really took it upon himself with some other key leaders, Toby included, to really give his time and energy as a member of the board and then now the executive board. Under his leadership, he established a partnership with HFMA, which we now have an annual meeting for those of you who've attended in Sacramento, where it's a joint meeting, a joint conference where there's education sessions for HFMA and CAHL and ACHE credits. And so that's still happening to this day, and it's incredible. It's increased the stature of the organization within not just the region, but also the state. CAHL's success would not be the same without your insightful leadership, Andrew. We're very thoughtful, and you're very conscious of what you're sharing when you're sharing it, and we thank you for that. He's been nominated to serve on a couple of ACHE committees, like the nominating committee the Book of the Year committee, as well as the exam committee. And outside of CAHL, he served as the president of the BYU Young Alumni Association and has a history of being active with that group. Now, Andrew's high attitude and ethical standards, I think, have always kind of borne out. And I think one time, I forget what we were talking about. It could have even been fantasy football, to be honest. I'm not really sure. But we were talking, and I was looking at Andrew, and I was like, what are you, like a Boy Scout? Like, it's okay. Like, it's fine, And then turns out he's an Eagle Scout. Did not know that. And so, incredible. And so Andrew, if you've seen him this evening, and hopefully you've had the privilege of interacting with him this evening, he's been floating around the room. He takes some time to really personally get to know folks and each of his colleagues. And in the process of that, it's like really this investment that you show and you're putting into folks that I think really comes a long way. He's also a newborn for the fourth time over. So he's a little one at home, and yet he's here with us, right? So it's truly like a thing that we appreciate for you, and we appreciate the work that you're doing for us. So again, thank you again for all you've done. We're super thrilled, and I'm super thrilled on behalf of the RAC to recognize you for your accomplishments. All right, so now for the first of two. So this year, our 2019 Senior Careerist Healthcare Executive Award goes to Darielle Earhart. It's funny, I emailed Derry. I was like, hey, are you going to be at the annual meeting? And it's like, oh, just cuz I want to see you. Are you going to be there? It'd be great.
I feel old.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my dear.
I think I've lost a lot of credibility with my peers with all the fibbing I've done this for getting up to here. But for Darielle's story is truly about service. So I'll give you again a quick rundown. Again, we can't go on forever with these events, and I know we want to get back to some networking and interacting with folks. But truly, some of the stories I've shared about Ida and Andrew and Darielle, these are only just snapshots of what they truly are. So again, if you get an opportunity this evening, please say hello, interact with them. You'll really experience that energy that I'm trying to relay up here, but I think it doesn't really do them justice. So Darielle, she's really been a pillar in terms of serving her community and patients with diligence and commitment. So prior to embarking on her civilian healthcare career, she started off with service to our nation, where she served as a staff sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps over tactical data communications, right? Her career post-military began with terms as a senior administrative analyst at UCLA, VP of Info Technology and Administration at the National Health Foundation, and then as a practice manager for Dignity Health for clinical operations. For the past 4 years, Darielle's been a leader at Lucile Packard Children's Hospital, Stanford, at first as a physician practice manager and now currently as a director of ambulatory operations. Now, throughout all of her roles, Darielle has pushed, prodded, inspired her peers and teams to invest in themselves and others. Her reinforcement of continued professional development of self and others has really modeled the core tenet of being the change we wish to see in others and the change we wish to affect in the communities we serve. And I've personally had the opportunity to sit with Darielle on some panels at our higher education network schools, and it's like what I was sharing earlier. It's like, I'm looking over and I am hearing her talk about her career, and then everyone looks over at me like, what do you think? And I forget that I'm on the panel because I'm like looking at her and just so impressed and inspired. And we've done it a couple of times, and every time I hear something different, I learn something different from you. Throughout her time here, she's brought her experience to these challenges and obstacles, but she has met them with poise, precision, and really a passion that I think is really, really humbling to experience. Now, she's carried that over in terms of her volunteer commitment with CAHL, first as a member of the Career Development Transitions Committee, where she was a volunteer. And that's a committee that aims to provide mentorship and guidance to professionals aiming to switch into healthcare, or they're in healthcare currently and they want to think about another facet of what to do with their careers. They're trying to make a totally different change. And so Darielle, with the help of David Betancourt as well, and David's been spearheading a program as well within that committee around how do we bring that volume back to the group. Jillian Springer also, I think, is here. Yep, Jillian's back here and has also been leading that effort. And this has really been this triad with the rest of the committee working on this. And thank you guys for your leadership there. So eventually she was elected to serve as a full board member of CAHL, chairing the Career Development Transitions Committee. And now she's led this team of mentors and groups that I've just mentioned. She has a strong history of volunteering within these groups. And so that's, again, the highlight back to within CAHL. And then outside of CAHL, she's been volunteering with the American Cancer Society and the United Cerebral Palsy Association of the Greater Sacramento area. So again, snapshot of just the type of character and traits and kind of the fortitude that Darielle has brought to our organization, to the community. Thank you again, Darielle. Finally, our last award recipient for the Regents Awards. So 2019 Senior Careerist Healthcare Executive Award goes to Kim Brownson.
You told me that meeting was canceled.
Yeah, I know.
You told me the same thing.
Congratulations. No, thank you. They were badgering me for the slide deck. Like, hey, we need to get the slides ready for the annual meeting. I was like, I'll bring them on my own. You don't need to see the slides. That's fine. Like, you need help getting the awards out of your car? I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll get them myself. Like, it's cool. So a little bit about Kim. Kim's been active in CAHL for many years, and she's contributed to many committees, so including the formal launch of our CAHL Sponsorship Committee, which has been a key driver here in the chapter to expand our programming and really bring additional benefits to our members. Currently, she's serving as the president-elect and has been incredibly generous with her time, energy to the chapter, and just advocating in our own communities for the professional development, as well as sharing her story and the profound impact CAHL has had on her and how she wants to give back. Huge advocate and very proud to be a nurse, which I think is really important as we aim to build up our offerings and our support of our clinical leaders. She's recently completed service as the Chief Patient Care Services and Nurse Executive with Queen of the Valley Medical Center of Providence St. Joseph's Health in Napa. Prior to this role, which she started in May 2017, she served as the Chief Nurse Executive with Sierra Vista Regional Medical Center in San Luis Obispo for almost 3 years, and before that, she had leadership roles with Sutter Health and Kaiser. Today, she is the CEO and founder of KBS Interim Executive and Leadership Consulting, Inc., where she wants to provide that level of experience leadership back to her peers. Now, outside of this work with CAHL and professional development, Kim has served on the board and is Executive Vice President of Mentis, Napa's Center for Mental Health Services, which is a nonprofit organization, I believe since 1950. This organization's been around since 1948, focused on the emotional health and wellness of our community by providing affordable and professional mental health services for people of all ages living in Napa County, which is incredible because, in the last decade or so, mental health has been such an issue on the forefront, and just the organization and the work they've done has been doing this for decades. She's been a builder of homes for Habitat for Humanity. She's a member of Global Services Partnerships, which provides international service opportunities for students, professionals, and families in the developing world. They connect people and resources through international service to mutually empower and transform their communities and the global community and to help address their educational needs. More specifically, she's a fundraiser for that group and a home builder and supporter of La Esperanza, which is, I believe, the economic empowerment group focused on families to build homes in Tijuana. She's also a member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and an organization called Birthday Candles for Kids, which I thought was incredible. And this is an organization that throws birthday parties for children who are homeless, orphaned, or in foster care. So Kim's leadership and perspective is driven really by starting with people and values, and it really shines through in her care and attention not only to the details of the work she does, but also in the community and the compassion she shows to everyone. We are lucky to have you in the chapter at CAHL and in the region. I am lucky to have known you for many years and consider you a friend. And so, again, on behalf of the RAC and the Regent's role, thank you for all you've done and congratulations. Alrighty, so I believe we are now pivoting over to the next slide deck. Andrew, join me. We have, I think, the President's and Regents Dual Awards, which are going to, and then after that, I think we're close to wrapping up then the evening's activities. That's me again. Luis Fonseca. Okay. Surprise. Come on.
So, Luis, while you're making your way up here, so this is, and again, thank you all, and again, congratulations to all those award winners. You know, the senior and early careerists, there's a full-on nomination process, and, you know, on behalf of me personally, as well as probably all the winners, you know, thank you for those who nominated us. You know, I know we'll cherish these awards. We'll continue to, keep the momentum going. We'll continue to do all our part and give them back to the organization. So that's just me personally. Thank you for that. And now for the President's and Regents Awards, there's actually no nomination process. It's just actually me and Baljeet tag teaming it. I'm identifying some members. Just like the tickets. This is the tickets coming through. So, you know, Luis, as Baljeet and I were thinking about these 2 awards, and we have 2 awards to give out. Luis, in his role as the Chief Operating Officer at Alameda Health System, has been a fantastic addition to the CAHL board, leading our Diversity and Inclusion Committee, which prior to Luis's leadership, to be honest, was a committee that needed a lot of focus, it needed a lot of energy. I think there was only maybe 1 or 2 committee members at the time. Now we're over 15 committee members, all very active, all integrated throughout our chapter. You see Luis participating in events like tonight in regards to the face-to-face that was held. probably half of those events that we've held, Luis was either a moderator or a panelist this year. Just absolutely, the man has dedicated to ACHE and the mission, and we appreciate that. We recognize that. And we want to make sure that you feel our support and our love for you, Luis. Thank you for your leadership, man. We couldn't be where we are without your leadership.
Thank you.
Just to give a little bit of additional context, so earlier, Andrew was like, I hope you guys are reading these newsletters, right? And so, funny story about that. So before, I now have the opportunity to work also at Alameda Health System, and before I joined the group, we were preparing for our EHR launch, and I actually had the opportunity to, earlier in my career, work a little bit with Delvecchio Finley, and he's actually the individual who said, hey, you should join get involved with CAHL, be a student, get on the board, get involved with that. So thanks to him, I've gotten involved. But so I emailed Delvecchio and say, hey, we're trying to get set up with this EHR. We'd love to learn a little bit more about your operation, how it's set up. So you know what, you should talk to this other guy at the organization, Luis Fonseca. Set up a conference call, half an hour. We're on the phone talking about, okay, how's your system set up, how your operation set up, what's the org chart look like? And we had a good call. It was one of those calls sometimes like middle of the afternoon, a bit more cavalier in kind of our attitude, but just cracking a little bit of jokes here and there. And then Luis goes, hey, where have we met before? I know you. And I'm like, no, you don't know me. We haven't met. And it's like getting close to like the half-hour mark, and we got meetings. I'm sure he did too. He goes, no, we've met before. I was like, no, we have not. Like, I was like, and again, I think it was the third time he said, no, I'm pretty sure. And then in my mind, I was like, if I say no again, it's like get awkward. So like, so I was like, I appreciate this energy. We're having a good exchange. I would have remembered this, this kind of, conversation, right? Like, very, what's the word? Just very collegial. He's like, you know what? I got it. I read your newsletter. At the time, I was a CAHL president, and I was like, oh, you read my newsletter? At first, I'm like, oh, thank God, someone read my newsletter. This is awesome. And he's like, I want to figure out, this is about maybe 2.5 years now ago. And he's like, I want to get more involved with CAHL. How do we do that? Let's talk about that. So we set up some time to meet up in person a few weeks later. And we did meet up, and we talked a lot about CAHL, and I was sharing with him kind of ways he can get involved. And a few weeks after that, we had a higher education network panel at Cal State East Bay, and said, hey, if you'd love to get involved, just please, come on down. We can do this panel together. And really, since then, it's like Andrew was saying, never really looked back, right? And has been so generous with time and energy that it's just been incredible. So again, I want to kind of marry up that narrative just around the work and investment back to each other, back to the community. It takes time away from other things, but also we're just so appreciative of your time and everyone's time to be here this evening. So again, thank you and congratulations.
And the final award of the evening, I just wanted to highlight. She's not here tonight, so I'm going to speak actually directly to the camera so she can watch this when she gets back from her trip. I believe she's overseas. But the next Presidents and Regents Awards winner is Christina Slee. So Tina Slee sits on the board of directors. Is it up there? Okay, perfect. She's currently at Director for Quality and Patient Safety at UC Davis Medical Center. She is a co-chair of our communications committee and is the reason why we have such a professional newsletter, such a professional annual report. She has hit very aggressive deadlines in regards to getting these documents out consistently. It takes a whole lot of work to keep me on task and writing these messages, honestly, and just keeping all of the finding writers and finding content, and she's done a fantastic job in regards to creating these very professional documents that really are the pride of the chapter. So Tina, thank you for all of you've done for the chapter, and well done. So with that wraps up our 2019 annual awards. Thank you all for sticking through an evening. I hope this was worthwhile. For all those award winners, please join us up here. DeVecchio, Heather, please join us as well. We'll take a quick photos, and then the remainder of the evening is yours for networking, for this photo booth. Definitely, once we're done, please feel free to use this CAHL backdrop. Use some comments over here in regards to some of the things that we can learn and focus on. Complete the evaluation. And again, thanks for being here. I hope you go home and go back to your organizations a better leader, a better individual. I mean, this is the intent. I hope you're motivated. Really, the whole intent is for us to really make the world around us a little bit better, right? So if we can do that, we're experiencing joy and we're making a difference in this world. So thanks for coming here. Thanks, Heather, for traveling. So nice work.